I am pretty sure you don't know about supply teaching. A lot of people do not know so much about supply teaching. I'm going to explain to you in this video what supply teaching is and who a supply teacher is, all right? Supply teaching is a form of teaching where you get employed by an agency and you get to fill in the gap for a teacher who is not around. Let me explain. If a teacher calls in sick today, if a teacher is planning to go on holiday, if a teacher has an emergency, or if a teacher is going on maternity leave or anything whatsoever, someone has to fill that teacher's space. And that's where you come in as a supply teacher. This is a golden opportunity that we're not exploring so much. Now, we need a lot of supply teachers in the United Kingdom at this minute. And believe me, supply teacher is one thing, or supply teaching is one thing you need to put as one of your agendas for 2026 and beyond. Supply teaching is good. Now, how and in what ways will it benefit you? All right. Your daily pay, I'm sure you want to learn about it. Your daily pay as a supply teacher is nothing less than £100, 120, 150. And if you are teaching subjects like mathematics, sciences, that's a lot more. Okay, now, but for starting, you can start with these amounts I have mentioned, and then as you grow, as your portfolio grows and your agency begins to trust you so much, you can also negotiate or liaise for an increase in your daily pay. And this is a very flexible opportunity because you work around your own schedule. So you can choose to work like 2 or 3 days in a week. You can choose to work all days in the week according to your own schedule. So you enjoy flexibility that it comes with. All right. Now, there is what we call a cover teacher, a supply teacher, a teaching assistant. I'm just going to explain to you what they all mean. A teaching assistant is someone who is in the classroom to support a student, not a teacher, right? Yeah, well, a bit of the teacher, but in most cases a student. There are a lot of students who are either on spectrum or for one reason or the other needs a bit of prompting, a bit of support, and that's where teaching assistants come in. It's such a compassionate job. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to support a student, to give a student an opportunity like his or her mates. So that is a beautiful thing to do. And it's always good to start as a teaching assistant because you get to observe other teachers and their teaching styles, because teachers have different teaching styles. So when you work with a student, of course, you follow the student to different lessons and you get to see other teachers teaching. You use yourself to different teaching styles and teaching environments and all of that, and you get to take that in and even use that to build how you can be able to like condition that to your own pattern. All right, now we have a cover teacher, we have cover supervisor, we have the ones who are the cover teachers and the ones who are not maybe qualified to teach. They just stay in the classroom. They do not have to produce teaching lessons for themselves. But a supply teacher, you must have either the QTS qualification or an experience, a transferable, experience from teaching, maybe, or IQTS, maybe international qualified teacher status, or it could also be your TRN from Nigeria, so long as you've got the qualification to teach, or you've been a lecturer, you've been teaching somewhere, you can be a supply teacher. And that also earns you the opportunity to teach for a long time. What does that mean? There are schools who need teachers. Let's say their teacher is going to be gone for like 3 months or even 2 months, 1 month, one whole term, and sometimes a year, and the school can call an agency and say we need a long-term supply. That's always a beautiful experience to have, because in that time you can plan your finances, you can plan your movement, you can get to plan yourself, because supply teaching is a day-to-day work. All right, so you literally get up in the morning, you're getting ready, and your agency calls and hi, are you available to go teaching today? And if it is something you're up to, if you're up for it that day, you say yes, you're available, and they send you to a school. But one thing you need to know is you hardly go a day without a job as a supply teaching, and that's because all over the UK they need supply teachers or teachers every day. And when you register with a very credible agency, and when they trust your credibility, your ability, your capacity, they get to call you all the time. There's the day-to-day supply and there's a long-term supply. It depends on what works for you or what is even available in your area at that time. So sometimes during the term, at the beginning of the term, you can have a a day-to-day supply where you get called every day. That can go on for like 1 week, 2 weeks, and then a school, maybe something happens, or and then they call you for a long-term one. In most cases, just before the holidays, the schools would make arrangements with agencies for for long-term supplies, especially when they are about to recruit teachers, all right? Or if they've just if teachers, because teachers keep moving schools for one reason or it could be family relocation, it could be anything, it could be a teacher even moving up rank, up status, maybe becoming a lead, you know, in her department and all of that. So they need supply teachers to fill that space in. So just before the holidays, a lot of schools will liaise with agencies and they tend to fill up opportunities for long-term supplies. But you know, this is life, so nothing is predictable. So in some cases, you have long-term supplies coming up out of the blues. So it comes up every now and then, and I've enjoyed it. It's an opportunity you're going to like if you go into supply. I'm Dr. Chini from Dr. Chini Teaches. Please like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and share my videos. Thank you so much.